Chapter 239 Unseen Talent. Songshi thought for a moment and pursed his lips. You want to trick me into returning the spiritual sword to you? Dream on. Since you said that it's a test of foundation, such an external object will definitely not be recognized. Chen Yiling felt a little regretful. She had wanted to use Songshi's ignorance of the immortal opportunity platform to get the spiritual sword back, but she had failed. He patted Chen Yiling's shoulder and a ray of light secretly entered his body. The seal between Chen Yiling's meridians dissipated. Sensing the dharmic powers flowing rapidly in her body, Chen Yiling was surprised. Aren't you afraid that I'll take the opportunity to escape? So what if I undo all your seals? How can a tiny foundation establishment cultivator can't escape from me? Songshi pursed his lips. Work hard and help me earn rewards. Shameless. Chen Yiling, who originally had a good impression of him, could not help but look angry when she heard this. At this moment, young people from the various large factions walked out. There were not many of them, but they were all suitable people to climb the immortal opportunity platform. They were energetic and full of confidence. There were 3 to 5 factions with more than 10 people, and each country had the most officials. Each department had hundreds of people, and each country had hundreds of factions. In the blink of an eye, there were thousands of people. Fortunately, the immortal opportunity platform was large enough. It was like a mountain that could be climbed from all sides. There were many young geniuses in the 10 nations. There were more than 100,000 of them, but it did not seem crowded after they were scattered. The people of the demonic sects had a tacit understanding between each other to stay in one zone, laying and mind their own business. Meanwhile, the geniuses from the great Jing government stood in the middle. The geniuses of the large factions were relatively calm. They all raised their heads and sized up the immortal opportunity platform. Most of them were geniuses of the new generation who were not even 100 years old, and had more or less never seen the immortal opportunity platform. The geniuses of the small forces were far inferior. Many of them were over 100 years old and had seen it with their elders. Now, they rubbed their palms together, wanting to climb to the peak. I've been preparing for 100 years. I'll definitely be able to enter the mystic realm this time. After 100 years of bitter cultivation, my foundation is not inferior to the geniuses of those large factions. I want both the rewards and the inheritance in the mystic realm. I want to impress everyone. Many people cheered themselves on. Songshi swept his gaze and was stunned to see many white-haired elders. You call yourself a genius? He was a little speechless. Not only did he see a white-haired fellow, but he also saw a loose cultivator like Dao's too. A circle of pure white light streaked past. Shuo, 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 shuo. Light balls appeared on the steps one after another. They were all distributed behind the 3,000 steps. There were spirit stones, dharma treasures, pills, talismans, puppet secret techniques. A portion of the treasures taken out by the various countries were inside. The way to obtain the treasure was very simple. It was to climb the corresponding steps. When Songshi saw this, he fell into deep thought. This mystic realm should also be managed by artifact spirits, right? Yes, but now it seems we have no right to see them. Chen Yiling looked at the ball of light above the stairs. In fact, this mystic realm has long formed a tacit understanding with the various countries. Every 100 years, it will absorb a portion of treasures to choose geniuses. The mystic realm will search for the successor it wants. The various countries can see geniuses emerge and compete in secret. That way, everyone is happy. Then let's go. There are so many treasures. Why don't we take a few more? Songshi took a step forward. When his right foot landed on the steps, a wave swept past him. Then, the dharma treasures on his body were sealed by a force and could not be used. If he used it forcefully, he would most likely be suppressed by the power of the mystic realm. As expected, I can't use any external objects. I can only rely on my own ability to climb. Songshi thought to himself. Then, his body sank and an all-round pressure landed on his body. The circulation of nomological power in his body immediately slowed down. Songshi stabilized his body and pondered. This pressure is determined by strength. That's right. Whatever realm you're in, you'll feel pressured. The higher you go, the greater the pressure. Chen Yiling nodded. When Songshi heard this, he felt that he had hit the jackpot. His realm was still at the mid-stage golden core realm, but he had 6 golden cores. His body tempering strength was higher and his spiritual strength was stronger. There was no reason for him to not be able to climb more steps. The current pressure was about the level that an ordinary mid-stage golden core cultivator could withstand. It was nothing to him. He walked up with a normal expression. Chen Yiling was also a top-notch genius. Her foundation was far above her peers and she advanced easily. Not to be outdone, Liu Yuayu followed him with her hands behind her back. HMPH, blood-robed old ghost. I didn't expect you to be qualified to ascend the Immortal Opportunity platform. You can't ascend here if you're over 200 years old. Looks like you possess someone else and deceived the spirits of the mystic realm. You can do that. Luo Kai rolled his eyes, seeing that Song Shi was not kicked out. He thought that if he became like this in the future, he could give it a try. Chen Yiling, who was beside Song Shi, thought to herself, he didn't trick the spirits of the mystic realm. Has really very young. Song Shi indeed discovered that a few white-haired cultivators were forced back by the white light. They were probably the so-called people above their age. He still automatically ignored Liu Yuayu's words and seriously observed the various balls of light above his head. The things inside were very precious. As they advanced, someone beside them turned around and looked at each other, inadvertently leaning towards them. As the pressure on everyone was at the same level, the pressure increased with every step they took. No one walked fast. Instead, they tried their best to maintain the balance between consumption and restoration. Even so, some people were soon panting. After 100 steps, some people squatted down to rest. TSK, isn't this person known as the most outstanding genius of the psychic sword sect in the past 100 years? He can't even take 100 steps. Haha, you have to empathize with him. How powerful can a genius from a third-grade sect be? Those who were watching the show gossiped loudly, and they saw that someone could not do it in such a short period of time. They immediately mocked and ridiculed. Song Shi took another look. The middle-aged man in the spiritual sword sect uniform's face turned red. It was unknown if it was because of the pressure or because he was being mocked. This psychic sword sect was the sect that Song Jia joined. Looks like it's only so-so. As he muttered to himself, Song Shi shook his head. In the past, it was already quite rare for an ordinary secular family like the Song family to come into contact with such a sect. This time, the potential of the Palm Gang looks pretty good. They're still not red in the face or out of breath. The little monk from the Tianhe temple is not bad either. His entire body is shining with golden light, just like an arhat. Some people were despised, while others were praised. The pressure of this step was the same for everyone. Everyone's foundation could be seen through at a glance. The sects with outstanding performances were naturally proud. Most of the sects were geniuses who did not live up to their reputations, had ugly expressions. Young people were the hope of every faction. With a strong foundation, they would be powerful enough in the future. If they could obtain treasures or even inheritances on this immortal opportunity platform, many small sects would have a chance to soar into the sky, while the large sects would be even stronger. A single immortal opportunity platform could determine the appearance of most of the geniuses in the entire continent. The 9 kings could see everything clearly. They already knew who they wanted to suppress and recruit in the future.